Oh, what's the matter, Snarl? They all left you behind? Well, you and I can cause enough damage and rampage between the two of us to make up for all of it. Or if nothing else, we can play some cards. Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're taking a look at another Studio 86 figure. We have Snarl, the Dinobot. Which is interesting that they put Snarl in the collection due to the fact that Snarl's appearance in the animated film was extremely minimal at best. There are a lot of fans that say he did make a very brief appearance in the film, while there are others that fully go out and state that Snarl does not appear in the film. I'm personally in the category of the latter, but if I'm wrong, hey, I'll admit I'm wrong. But I've seen the movie a fair number of times, although I will admit it has been a while since I last viewed it, but I never recalled seeing Snarl in it at all. Even the latest expansion to the role-playing game, the Techno-Organic Secrets book, does cover the Dinobots, and in Snarl's section, it even goes out of its way to state that Snarl is somewhat of a forgettable character, as he was apparently left behind instead of joining the other Dinobots in their quest to head to Autobot City. So basically, to each their own. We're not going to start an argument or a debate about it here on the channel. Mainly because there's really no point in arguing over something minor and trivial. We'll let more angry heads do that. But at any rate, let's move Snarl out of the way, and unlike his Dinobot brothers that came before him, Snarl features a segment from Autobot City, whereas all the other Dinobots came with a backdrop from the execution pit on Quintessa. So I'm guessing they're hinting that Snarl's brief appearance was at Autobot City. Oh well, if nothing else, you can use this as a backdrop for for a group of the other characters. We're not going to worry about it. It's just nice that we still get it. So here we have Snarl. And even though they say Snarl's forgettable, I wouldn't say that when you consider his appearances in the Generation 1 toy line. Snarl was the only Dinobot, aside from Grimlock, to get multiple figures. Of course, Grimlock got the most, having 3 different toys. Grimlock had his Dinobot toy, he was also a Pretender, and an Action Master. Snarl would also get an Action Master. So Snarl was the only other Dinobot to get another toy in the line, so while he may be forgettable to some, obviously there was some love for Snarl somewhere to get him an Action Master, so we really shouldn't put him down. Alright, we'll take a look at Snarl's accessories. We'll start with his weapon. Unlike the other Dinobots, Snarl comes with his sword. It's all done up in gray to indicate that it is a metallic sword, whereas all the Generation 1 Dinobots came with swords in red plastic, indicating they were Energon swords. So I would have liked Hasbro to have taken a little time and maybe put some red along the edges of it to at least give it the look like it was brimming with Energon. That would have been a nice touch. Of course, someday I may just customize it for the heck of it. One other thing that should be pointed out, especially if you buy him loose, is this hinged piece right here. This part here that we're moving around, this whole section. This part comes detached from Snarl when you buy him brand new. You have to put that on to him to complete how the toy looks. So do be mindful of that, my viewers, if you are buying one that is loose on the secondary market. Make sure he has that, or you will not be able to complete the transformation. But moving right along from that, let's take a look at Snarl's articulation. You can turn his head from side to side, and it is on a ball joint, so you can move it up and down. His arms can stretch out to the side about so far. And the arms do rotate all the way at the shoulder. But as you saw, you do have to move it a bit to clear the dinosaur kibble. He features double jointed elbows. And he does feature swivel arm battle grip, so he could join G.I. Joe. He does twist at his hips, so you can get the Dinobots dancing like they did in the film. Although they danced in their dinosaur forms, so you can spread his legs apart into a full splits. He does have a good thigh cut. You can raise his leg at the hip 90 degrees. You can bend him at the knee 90 degrees. Plus, you can also move the foot out at the ankle, but that's more for transforming than anything else. There's some good ratcheting here in his legs and in the elbow joint, so you definitely have some good posability with this figure. Oh, and one last thing before we transform him, if you're interested. If you don't want him to carry his sword, well, you can store it on his backside. That's always neat when they allow us to do that. I can't help myself, folks. I love seeing storage, seeing weapon storage on these toys. The G1 guys never had it, so it's always nice to see their successors get it. Alright, anyway, on to the transforming. To turn Snarl here into his dinosaur form, bring his arms up so that they're pointing straight out. You know, go the Frankenstein or the zombie look here. Reach underneath his arms and pull out these yellow segments. Get them pulled straight out as far as they'll go. Don't force it, because then they're going to fold downwards like so, and then you will rotate them around at the ankle. Sometimes, though, they are a bit finicky to get out. There we go. But a nice, gentle, persuasive motion will get them unstuck. Once you've got them out, you rotate his hands at the wrist, so they're facing the other way, and then fold them inside. Adjust the yellow legs as necessary if you have to get enough clearance. Instructions don't tell you that, but my experience will. Learn from my mistakes. Somebody should. And then we're going to fold the dinosaur legs up and around. Right here on the shoulder, you can see there's a little hole, and it should line up with a post that's on their forearms here. So adjust as necessary to get that to connect. There we go. Once you've got that to connect, you pretty much get the dinosaur legs to point up like he's surrendering. Turn him around to the back, and you're going to unfold this piece. And fold it up on top of his head so we can bring the dinosaur tail together like so. And then we will turn him around and we will fold his robot head down inside his torso. Rotate the dinosaur legs so they go back. Then I want you to raise him up a bit, separating the hips from the torso. And then rotate the legs around like that. So now that you got the legs facing in this way, you will then open them up entirely. Fold out the dinosaur legs. And then you can fold down the section that has the legs onto the side, like that. And then they want you to fold out the legs and rotate them so they're facing this way. And then get the robot legs to line up and connect totally together. You want us to look at him from here. Come to this section on the legs, right down here. Fold them down so that you can bring up the sections of head. Ensure the head gets out. And then continue to fold this section down and around. Just like that. And when you've got it all the way around, make sure all the sections are closed up. And fold this section back down to help hold the head in place. Like so. Then you'll come back here and you'll fold his feet down. Because the feet will then raise up his torso a bit. So that way when you slide it together, the feet go inside the torso. Just like that. Then of course, once you've done that, you can fold down this back piece. And then you'll come back out here underneath and fold these sections like that so that they are all together. And then you can adjust the feet to stand him up. Get him all closed up together, and then there you have it, folks. Snarl the Stegosaurus. Move the camera down a bit so you can see him. That should connect down better. That's good. Articulation-wise, you do have at the hip and at the shoulder. The back legs, you can articulate the ankles and the knees. The front legs only have at their elbow. And the dinosaur head, it can't do anything, but you can open the mouth. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a thing in there for a blast effect, so it's not like you can have him breathe fire like the other Dinobots. But on the underside, you'll notice here there are a couple of pegs protruding out down here. Well, those line up with a couple of holes on the front of his sword. So you can connect the sword in down there. And the sword is completely hidden. Again, another nice feature. So now we get down to my thoughts. Again, I've been impressed with how the Dinobots have turned out in the Studio 86 line. These definitely rate among some of the best of the Dinobot toys. And this one certainly is no exception. The detail of the robotic parts here on the front side of him, this is nice detail. He does transform relatively well and smoothly, so I do like that, and I do like the fact that he can hold all of his accessories in both robot and dinosaur mode, so that's always nice. If there's any real gripe, like I said, they didn't put anything in his mouth to be a blast effect, so that we can make it look like he was breathing fire like the Dinobots always did. But I guess that's a small price to pay, because, again, like with all of them that have been released in this line, the Dinobots look great. It's a shame we had to wait so long to get them. At any rate, that's my look at the Studio 86 version of Snarl. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please do remember that if you love the content we feature on this channel, I would certainly love some likes, shares, comments, and subscribe. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.